I hate gift giving and receiving.
Receiving gifts is so weird. What do you say? Thank you?
This is Coffee Convos with Kail Lowry and Lindsie Chrisley.
I really want you to be in your feels, Kail.
That does not interest me whatsoever.
I feel very attacked by you.
A spirited discussion about motherhood, friendship, family, and life in the public eye.
I'm just not with the fakery anymore.
There's a fakery bakery around here.
Here's Kail and Lindsie.
Hello, Coffee Convos.
Good morning, Kail and Lowry.
Good morning, Lindsie Chrisley.
What are you doing?
I am chilling. I'm chilling. I went on Instagram Live this morning to get ready, and I was just like checking it out, seeing what everyone was up to. I feel like I'm like an influencer now, you know?
Why do you feel like that?
I've been like getting a lot of cool stuff online. Kristen, if you think you heard this, you didn't. And so I've been like linking everything. And then also because I'm going to Thailand next month, which I finally was able, Kristen rescheduled my trip for me from last year. So if I'm turning 31 this year, I'm actually not, I'm turning 30 again. We're redoing all of that. And so I've been linking every freaking thing, books that I got for the flight, shirts that I got. I got this really fucking cute like lounge set. I think you would really like it. And I'm just like linking everything. I feel good. I get ready every day. You know what I mean? Like I'm just feeling good. You feel me?
Oh my gosh. Well, let me tell you, immediately whenever I saw your hair on this recording, I thought of Jennifer Aniston and Friends, and I got jealous.
Oh my God.
So did you blow out your own hair, or did someone blow it out for you?
No, Taylor did it. She put rollers in it.
Yeah, that's a vibe. It's for sure a vibe. Look at what I look like today. I'm like, you know what? I was not feeling the hair washing today. So I was like, I'm going to throw on a baseball cap because I've literally been all over Georgia and it is raining again.
Oh, yeah, it was raining here yesterday.
I can't escape the rain. And I just want to circle back on the trip thing. Is it not the best feeling ever when you feel like you can be so prepared that you do things before your trip instead of like the night before?
Yes. I'm so excited. I have like all the TikToks I'm going to plan. I want to do like pack with me. I have so many things that I want to do. I actually got, somebody sent me, I don't remember who it was. Somebody sent me a book for Thailand to my office when I was going to go last year. And so I actually, I kept it. And so I gave that to Natalie because she's going to come to Thailand with me. And which I'm very excited about because we've never done a trip together like this. And we've always had the kids, you know, like, she's been number one supporter for me with the kids. And so it's going to be really nice for us to both go without the kids and we don't have to worry.
So no kids are going?
No.
So they're staying with their dad. Like okay, back up. How long are you going to be gone? And are the kids staying with their dads the whole time or like what's happening?
Yeah, the kids are going with their dads. I guess I have to figure out a situation for Lux and Creed because they're, when I texted Chris saying like, hey, I'm going away. I need you to take the kids. He said he can't because he's going to be on a trip too. So, we're going to figure it out. It's going to be fine. And the rest of the kids are going to go with their dads. Okay.
So as a single mom, I don't know if you experienced this, but I very much have experienced this. And I also experienced it when I was married. So I don't know if it's just a single mom thing for me or just like a major life hiccup. But I have a real hard time wanting to go places and then doing all this work. And I'm like, I'm going to do this as an adult trip. And then every time it comes to getting ready to go, I always take Jackson with me because I feel like I don't want to have experiences that he's not having. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why I'm like that.
So I would love to be able to take the kids on this trip. Because I'm going for longer than a week just with travel. Unfortunately, I didn't want to take them out of school and some of the days do fall on their dad's time. And so I just asked them to take the 3 extra days or whatever. But because I take my kids on a lot of trips, I don't feel guilty when I'm going on this one, especially because I was supposed to go on one for my 30th. I didn't get to do that. I didn't get to experience it. And they haven't really showed any interest in Thailand. Thailand has been a top 2 bucket list for like literally 10 years. If I go when I go and if I love it, then I come home and tell them about it and they want to go, 100%, then I'll already know some of the spots to go to, some of the things that are kid friendly, then I don't feel as bad. And we're going to Mexico in August, so I don't feel super, super bad. Lux has really bad separation anxiety from me, so I will say that I do feel bad for him, because he's already, when I talked about it, he was already like, are you coming back? Where am I going to go? Like he's very much asking questions. But yeah, no, I can completely understand that, especially because you only have one and you're able to take them. You can take Jackson wherever you go. Like that completely is understandable to me.
Well, and it happened when I was married too. So like I would have these great ideas to do like a couples trip or like a couples weekend. And then it would get close to time. And I was like, well, let's just take Jackson with us. Like this would be something he would also enjoy. And I just feel like such a sense of guilt if I am somewhere that's nice and like tropical that I know that he would enjoy. And I'm just like lounging by the pool. And if he FaceTime me, like I am the type of person that I would have to go into the bathroom to pretend like I'm doing nothing fun so that he didn't see it and feel like he's missing out.
Oh, I wonder if it's like a mama's boy thing, because that's how I am with Lincoln. Like I want to hide if I'm doing something that he can't come to, or he can't. When I had to do some work here at the office last night. So I was here from literally 4:30 until almost midnight. When I tell you that Lincoln was like texting me, asking if he could just come here to the office, and me telling him no broke my fucking heart. And so that's why I get so anxious, like just podcasting, knowing that like if I have to record with you, and like I don't want listeners to get frustrated about my kids, but like my kids want to be wherever I'm podcasting. So whether it's at home in the office or here, they want to be here. And so if you can hear them and stuff, it's just literally because I try to tell them no, but I always end up either bringing them here or letting them in my office at home. And then I hate it because
Isn't
then I'm
it
like,
so hard?
it's so hard. And like for you guys to want to come just to the freaking office with me, like how am I supposed to say no to that?
Well, and I don't ever remember like hooting and hollering and being like, yeah, I want to go to my parents' office. Like I don't ever remember having those thoughts. And I don't know if it's because we have like more non-traditional jobs or we're just generally cooler parents.
Probably both.
I have no idea.
We're just cool
It could be a combination of both. You let your kids cuss, so like you're probably way cooler.
I have an update on that.
Okay, tell me.
I no longer let the kids cuss.
What? No. Like you can't just
and I'm
be
gonna tell
like,
you why.
you can drop F-bombs, this, that, the third, and then now they're on a no cuss rule.
They are on a no cuss rule. We've been there. It's been like 2 months, 6 weeks, maybe 2 months. I revoked their cussing privileges because they were...
Stop.
Well, because here's the thing. This was my theory, and this is why I did it in the first place. I thought if they were exposed to it and allowed to cuss, that they wouldn't give a shit and they would not cuss. Do you know what I mean? Because it wasn't like the forbidden fruit, right? No. My middle children specifically, Lux and Lincoln, every other fucking word out of their mouth was a cuss word. So immediately I was like, this is too much and we're done. And
so
I'll have you know.
Like no. Back up. Give me a scenario of like them cussing. Like they're just at home and you hear them cussing. Like what are they saying?
Well, Lux loved to say what I always say, which is you're pissing me off. So he told Natalie that she was pissing him off. And when I gave him permission to cuss, I meant like if you drop something on your foot and you say, oh shit, you know, that hurt. Or, you know, shit, we're out of milk, you know, things like that. But when you're saying you're pissing me off, and like he would do it in a funny way, like it wasn't like he wasn't trying to be rude. But it just got to a point where I was like, okay, this backfired on me. I thought I was doing something, you know, to basically desensitize, but also like them not give a fuck. And it didn't work. So they haven't cussed for like 6 weeks. I mean, I'm sure they do it behind my back, but they're not letting me hear it.
Oh no, they're cussing behind your back, honey. We know they're cussing behind your back. And almost I want to do a test on Coffee Convo's podcast where you put some type of like recording devices in their room and them not know it. And let's listen for them cussing.
I wish I still had an intercom system. I had one at my old house.
So good?
That would be so funny. Wait,
what do their dads think about your no cuss rule that you have now? And what did they think about the cussing when they were just like cussing up a storm?
Their dads didn't let them cuss, which is fine. And again, I thought that it would it was like they knew when to turn it on and off. So they knew that they could do it in certain places in the comfort of their own home. And then they couldn't do it in public and at their dad's houses. Which is still a good thing. But also I was like, no, like this is too fucking much. And so their dads never let them cuss. And they just knew that when they go to their dads, they can't cuss.
That's so funny. My parents always used to tell us growing up, they would say, do as I say, not as I do.
Period.
And I never really realized that and what that actually meant until I became a mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I find myself wanting to say it all the time, where I'm like, yes, what I am doing specifically is very stupid and don't ever do it. But yes, I'm doing it. And that makes me a hypocrite.
Isn't that so crazy though? Like when you think about do as I say, not as I do, like, because I didn't understand that. Like when my mom would say that or like other adults in my life would say that, I wouldn't really understand it. But like now as an adult, I fully understand.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and if we were caught cussing when we were growing up, we were given a dictionary and told that we were uneducated and that we need to find other words. If that's all we can do is sit around and say, fuck, shit, damn, whatever, then go into the dictionary and find another word.
Yeah. Get a synonym, an adjective to describe whatever you're trying to say.
Oh my God. Wait, I have a follow-up.
Okay. What's the follow-up?
From the labia.
Okay. I need to hear this.
So I sent a couple of texts out. I'm not going to say who I sent the text to. It's not important.
I have a couple guesses.
But you probably have a couple of guesses. Sent a couple texts and said, do you suck the inner labia when you're going down on someone? One of the responses I got was, I'm not telling you my tricks.
Oh. Okay.
And I was like, that doesn't answer my question. I need to know if you're sucking the inner labia. The other response that I got was, people might be pissed off whenever you say this, but it's not you saying it. It's me saying it, that the inner labia is the part where if it's not flush, it looks like roast beef curtains. Chances are if they had a inner labia that was able to be sucked on like that, it's because it was like more like out.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Then like in and flat.
I don't care what the fuck it is. I don't think that is pleasurable for me for it to be sucked on. Like, I just don't think that part of my lady parts is pleasured in that way.
I don't know if that's ever happened to me. I don't think that it has. And so I think that both of the people that I talked to are probably just full of shit, but I thought it was a great update.
That is a fantastic update. I love that they were like, I'm not telling you my secrets. I'm just not. This episode of Coffee Combos is brought to you by BetterHelp. I want to remind you guys how important that mental health is. Take right now to really take a second about what kind of person that you want to be moving forward. And if you are having trouble dealing with conflict or, anxiety, any type of situation that you need help getting through, the key to that is learning how to deal with it before those things happen. And I cannot stress that enough. You don't want to wait until things are so bad to get into therapy. I am a very big proponent of getting into therapy before there are issues, because then you learn how to handle the things when they arise. BetterHelp can do that with you, and you can change your therapist at any time if you don't feel the vibe or a connection, which is really nice because it's so hard to connect sometimes. And this makes it easy, free to change your therapist.
Absolutely. I love the idea of BetterHelp. We've talked about it so many times. And if you are thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. Convenient, flexible, affordable, entirely online. You just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. You can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge, which I think is a great perk because sometimes it just doesn't work out, and this is a solution. So if you want to live a more empowered life, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/coffee today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/coffee.
Over the weekend, I got my KiwiCo crate shipment for the kids. And funny enough, the school closed early yesterday because there was like a water pipe burst or something. And so we actually broke out these crates and everyone did a craft. The kids really love these because it feels like fun. It doesn't feel like they're learning, but they are actually learning. So it's kind of a win-win for all of us. We've done so many of these and I can post some of them that we've done, but they have 9 different subscription lines for different ages and categories, which is great for me because I have every age you can think of. I have a child in that age. So, so if you guys want something, also makes a really, really great gift for somebody, other moms who want to stay busy on rainy days or days that there's no school, or you want to send them to the grandparents' house or something and have something to do, get them a KiwiCo crate. They're awesome.
There's a couple of reasons why I love KiwiCo, and you can cultivate your child's natural creativity and curiosity learning without a screen, which I think is super important. I talk about going technology free, and we always bust out these crates. And you and I must be on the same shipment schedule because we also got a crate as well, and it is the bottle rocket, and we're going to do that after school today. So I'm excited.
Oh, awesome. I love that for y'all. Y'all will have to send me pictures.
Absolutely.
You guys need to make 2023 the year of discovery with KiwiCo. Get 50% off your first month on any crate line at kiwico.com/coffee. That's 50% off your first month at KiwiCo, KIWICO.com/coffee.
I also have another update for you. So a lot of people saying that they also are a Kail and wake up worried about like where their birth certificate is. Kid you not. Last weekend, Jackson slept with me, sits up straight in the bed. First thing he says when he wakes up, he goes, "Mom, I'm really like starting to worry about milestones."
Milestones?
And that's what they call like ITBS or like whatever like the standardized testing is at school or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And he's like, "What happens to you if you like do bad on it?" And I'm like, I don't know. And then it made me think, I don't ever remember like any person getting in trouble or like having any repercussions for those types of tests. Do you?
No. One of my friends who's a teacher actually told me that you really don't even have to show up for those testing. Like it's for the state only.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah. Cause I don't know if it was like this for you when you were a kid, but I was under the impression that like you have to be there, you have to take the test. It is like so important. You can't miss it. And like your worst nightmare would be to not be in school for one of those tests in fear of having to make it up and then being behind on other work and stuff like that. But I've had actually 1 or 2 people, maybe even 3 friends tell me that they don't even let their kids take those standardized testing.
What?
Yeah.
I thought it was like by
mandatory.
law. Wait,
I thought it was
another funny thing.
Too.
No. So now I realize that I'm raising a Kail. That's one. The second thing is Jackson comes home the other day because I checked him out of school early. And he said his teacher asked where he was. He went to a doctor's appointment. And he said that she talked to the whole class because the majority of the class was missing one day. And she talked about these people that like come to your house to check on you if you're not at school. And I'm like, well, who did she say these people were that were going to come to your house? And he said, well, she didn't say that they were going to come to my house specifically, but they just like come and check on you if you're not at school. And then it made me start thinking of last year and me wanting to just like exercise my right as a parent to be able to take Jackson, like if I'm going on a trip or whatever. And I'm like,
Right.
you know, it's okay. As long as he's at school until 11 o'clock, he's counted for the full day. Nobody's going to be concerned, whatever. Well, at the end of the school year, I did that like 6 times or something. And at the end of the school year, they send a thing. And I remember my parents doing this for me too. Like they would just like take us on trips, whatever. And then the school year, you get this email and it's like, there can be like no more checkouts or whatever. Or we're going to have to do like a check. Like, wait, what?
You know what's crazy? I got a letter from Isaac's school saying that like he was truant because he missed 3 days of school. No, he was shitting his brains out and throwing up. It was the literal stomach bug. And I'm not taking him to the doctor for a stomach bug that we all got and got over within 72 hours. And he's not truant. So I ignored it.
Oh, wait. Also, you have to have like a doctor's note for it to be considered excused.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you want me to send this state a photo of like the diarrhea shit in the underwear and like the puke like on the toilet? Like, is that what you're looking for?
Right.
Like, I
I'm
don't
not
know.
like I have multiple kids, you know that. So like I am not taking like what I would have taken Isaac to the doctor for like a child's like a school note or whatever previously. I'm not doing that now for every little thing. I'm not getting a doctor's note for a fucking shit bug. You know what I mean? Like I'm not doing it.
I'm like, honestly, the risk for me to take my child to the doctor, he's probably going to pick up something else while we're in the waiting room. Like, you're risking my safety and also my kid's safety, because while he likely has stomach flu, he could get any type of other illness that's sitting in the waiting room. So I'm specifically not going to get a doctor's note for that reason. But then an email came home, not just specifically to me, but this went to the whole school. And it says, attendance matters. Missing a day of school here and there may not seem like much, but absences add up. And then it gives all these statistics. When a student misses 2 days a month, they will miss 20 days a year. They will miss 30 hours of math over the school year. They will miss 60 hours of reading and writing over the school year. And they will miss over 1 year of school by graduation. When a student misses 4 days a month, you double all of those things. So like they will miss 40 days a year, 60 hours, 120 hours of reading and writing, and 2 years of school by graduation. And then I'm out here thinking to myself, I don't know of any person that is a parent that would allow their children to consecutively miss 2 or 4 days a month for these statistics to actually matter, because I can specifically tell you Jackson Campbell is not missing 2 or 4 days because his ass is going to school.
Facts. Like literally I can think of, and I remember the last time we talked about this, I never was letting my kids play hooky. Like I just wasn't. Now, maybe, I know that, when we went to the Post Malone concert in October, I let the kids play hooky the next day.
Post Malone.
Because it was a mental health day and like they were excited about the concert, and then we didn't get home till super late, and it was a really great experience. Isaac still says it was the best night of his life. So I let them miss for the next day. It was a Friday. I let Lux miss yesterday, and he ended up this whole school got early dismissal anyway. So I'm like, I don't really feel bad about that. Lincoln's dad is one that would probably let Lincoln stay home for 2 or 4 days a month. Like that is very much hobby. But thankfully he will clear it with me first, like get my opinion. 2 or 4 days a month seems excessive. Like a day of hooky here and there is fine, but 2 or 4 days, like do people really they let their kids stay home that much?
I'm like, how did they even come up with those statistics? I guess people are letting their kids stay home that much. I have no idea. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, no.
But also, who's to say that like those whatever they're playing hooky for, and I know that there are obviously situations that people can't control and, things like that. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people who are playing hooky. But who's to say that it's not like when I let them stay home from school not that long ago, we went to a museum in Philly. You know what I mean? So like they didn't go to school, but we went and did like an educational activity, and we went to go to a basketball game and like stuff like that. And so like for me, it was like we went and did something educational. So like you can't even, those statistics wouldn't even apply to us.
Oh, I say that too. I'm like, well, typically if he's missing school, there is some type of educational aspect, or it's like for a medical need. Like that's the reason why he's skipping school. But we should normalize that children need mental health days just like adults need mental health days. And, when Will and I were going through all of our stuff last year, Jackson did need a couple of mental health days, and it's okay. And I'm not apologizing for that.
I agree with you. I mean, I definitely, again, 2 to 4 days is excessive. Also, I don't know. I mean, feelings have kind of changed about school over the years. I'm more upset about like if they're late a lot than like 1 day of hooky. Do you know what I mean? Like if they're just like habitually late, that's more of a problem to me than 1 day of hooky like every other month.
I'm like, you just need to get your ass up out of the bed a little bit sooner then. Like, why are we being habitually late? Like, that's not a thing. I did just want to also say, if anyone who is listening to this was not in our Telegram group live event, you truly missed a good time. And all we're going to share of what happened during that live event is that Carol is Kail's new BFF. And that's all anyone needs to know. It was off the chart. And I literally said when I hung up off of that, I was talking to somebody and I said,
somebody,
I can't wait till the next one. Like, I'm going to have snacks. I'm going to have drinks.
And no one's going to complain about me eating like they have in the past, because it's a live event and I can do whatever the fuck I want. So I will be eating snacks and gulping whatever I'm drinking. I have to tell you, I agree with you on all of that. Have you ever had days where you're just so fucking overstimulated that you just drive in silence?
Yeah. That's like a weekly occurrence for me.
Literally the last like month, I have listened to very little music in the car, where I used to be like listening in the car to everything that I ever wanted to hear. If I listen to music in the car now, it's very like calming music, like hits me in my fucking soul, like meaningful music. But a lot of times I'm finding myself driving in silence.
Funny that you say this, because Kristen and I talked about this on the Southern Tea, and how this wouldn't apply to you, but it might apply to other people who are listening to this too that don't listen over there. But I listen to worship music. I find myself listening to worship music. So it's the same as like you listening to calming music. It's like good for the soul. It feels meaningful and like I'm getting something out of it. And my mental health is not like suffering from what I'm consuming.
Yep.
And you do have to be so mindful of like, I'm down for like some good music and, you know, like being with the stuff. Like, I'm totally down with that. But there's a time and there's a place for it. And it's not every time you turn on your car.
Mm-hmm.
And it will change your life. Like, that is, I know that that sounds crazy, but it truly will change your life. It also changes how I drive and just like my overall mood.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. I just like one day I was driving and it just hit me and I was like, I've really been driving in silence all week. Like, I've really just been chilling, vibing, collecting my thoughts, thinking. I'll get some ideas for the podcast and I'll type them in the notes on my phone at the next stoplight, like shit like that. I can really just gather my thoughts and just be, I don't know, at peace. And also just having so many kids and animals and 3 podcasts and an office over here and a home office over there and shopping and planning and all the things. I'm like, I just need quiet. Like, I just need silence.
Actually, my therapist was telling me about being intentional with your time and clearing your space and being present, like where you are. And I think a lot of times we don't even realize the things that we're consuming that is causing us not to be able to be present where we should be present.
Okay. I mean,
I found myself listening to music to just like be with the people, you know, just like know all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know, be with them. And completely like just, I don't know what it is, but just like distorted my thinking process to the point of like it was so clouded upstairs that like I couldn't think outside of what was going on in my car. And so there is something to be said for listening to peaceful music, listening to worship music. I put together a Spotify like worship playlist. You should put a calming one together.
I did.
Yeah.
That's so weird. So I've always had Spotify, but I never really made like lists on there. Like, I never made like playlists. And the other day I sat down and I started like, okay, these are like the calming songs. These are the breakup songs. These are like the good vibe songs, Spanish songs, like all of the lists. So I have like whatever it is. And then I have a list of like podcasts for like positive thinking, or just like chill podcasts. Cause that's also a thing. I know you don't listen to other podcasts, but I do. And, sometimes I just need like, I don't give a shit if it's bullshit. I don't care if it's a placebo effect. I just need a positive podcast to like trick my mind into like believing whatever it is that I need to believe, or like get me into a better mood. So I started doing that on my Spotify. That's so crazy. We're right here. You know what I mean?
We're in sync.
We are.
Actually, people ask me all the time when I do like question boxes on Instagram, what podcast that I would recommend.
And you're like, none.
And I'm like,
coffee combos and Southern
just
tea.
listen to the podcast that either I do or the people that I do a podcast with also do. Because I don't listen to podcasts. So like I can't tell you what to listen to. Isn't that so crazy? And I have maintained that. I will say that is something that I have been steadfast in from the time we started podcasting until current, that I just do not listen to other podcasts.
And that's fine. That's completely fine.
I don't want the vibes to like change, you know, and I'm afraid for like something to imprint on me that like I can't shake, and I like coming up with my own ideas. So I
will say, just to piggyback off that thought, as far as like, you know, you don't want to change the way we do things or be influenced even subconsciously, because I think that's something that, you know, people don't realize how much like who they listen to, who they're friends with influences them. Right. So, when I do TikToks and stuff, I'm so tired of having to be like, oh, this person influenced me, or I saw this thing on, like constantly giving credit to someone else. Like, yeah, once in a while it's like, okay, for something good, but like, it's exhausting to have to constantly credit somebody else for something. And I feel like if you're listening to other podcasts and then you say one thing that's similar to somebody else's podcast, and all of a sudden you're crediting them for the next 6 months. You know what I mean? Like it is kind of frustrating. And so in that way, I definitely understand.
I just love that I'm not a consumer of my own craft. Just consuming my own, just trying to be better all the time.
So I actually was just on live Instagram telling people about my vitamins and supplements because they asked me when I take them. And I religiously take my vitamins and supplements at 9 p.m. right next to my bed. It is something that I've grown to do over time and I love it. And Care of is awesome because you just sign on, take a little quiz, enter your health goals, and they'll recommend vitamins and supplements that will work for you based on your health goals. And they deliver straight to your door in these little compostable packets, which is really nice, especially when Lindsay and I go on our content trips for these podcasts. I'm able to just grab however many packets I need for that trip. I don't have to take 100 bottles with me. I don't have to separate them myself. I can literally just grab the packets and go.
It's so nice. And another plus is each shipment comes with a customized pamphlet showing exactly what's in your individual daily packs. I love being able to like read and educate myself that way. And it lets you know why it was specifically recommended for you and for your health goals. So if you guys have not given Care of a try, you definitely should. And it is so great for travel. And for 50% off your first Care of order, you can go to takecareof.com and enter code coffee50. For 50% off your first Care of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code coffee50.
Aura. I wear my ring on my pointer finger and I use it to track my sleep because your girl got insomnia or something.
Do you love it?
I do love it because it's just like lightweight and you don't even know it's there. And it kind of looks cute because I wear black all the time. So I have like the darker ring. And so one of the things that I need to do is sleep better. I need to focus on my sleep, figure out what is going on. And this Aura ring and the app gives me all the tools I need to kind of help me get it under control. So a healthier life really does start with a deeper understanding from the inside, right? Like you don't want Band-Aids. You don't want to do all these things that are truly Band-Aids. You want to get to the root of the problem, or you want to figure out what's going on, or you just want to keep tabs on your health, which is completely understandable. So whether it's mental, physical, or emotional, you all benefit. We all do from self-knowledge. And that's kind of what the purpose is behind this ring, understanding your overall health. The Aura ring helps you discover your body, how it's working, what it's doing. Get the ring.
I have so many blogger girlfriends that have this, and you guys have now convinced me. The Aura Ring delivers accurate, personalized health insights, all from a comfortable to wear ring. And during the day, their advanced sensor technology tracks your heart rate, calories burned, and activity levels. And at night, it monitors body temperature trends, which I would totally benefit from, sleep quality, respiratory rate, and more. And you receive personalized data on the Aura app, so you can work on building healthy habits to live your best life. It's water resistant, comes in 2 styles, 5 colors to match your aesthetic. we all know that I'm one for aesthetic, and one small ring could make a world of difference in your health. Visit auraring.com/coffee convos to find the right ring for you and get $15 off your purchase. That's auraring.com/coffee convos. Don't forget to use our link to save $15 on your Aura ring. Wait, okay, so I was going through my perfume the other day and I was like cleaning. I don't know if anybody else gets like this, but you know how I said I was going through like that list of stuff, like cleaning out stuff?
Yeah.
And had all these perfume bottles and so many that had just like not even been touched, or that I have specific attached memories to those smells that like I won't use them anymore.
Yes.
Do you have that?
Yes. There was, I think it was called Mad About You. It was a body mist by Bath and Body Works. That was a scent that I wore a lot when Chris and I were first together, like on our first trip together and stuff. And so in that aspect, it was good memories. But for me, he was not a good, like we weren't good for each other. And so in a way, it's like bittersweet, right? Like that scent brings back so many good memories, but the outcome was so sad. I can't smell it. I don't like the smell of it. I don't want to smell it. I would recognize it immediately and probably have PTSD. Also, Natalie wears the same perfume as my mom. So when I first smelled the perfume on her, I looked at her and I was like, is that design? And she was like, yeah, why? I was like, Susie wears that. Like Susie, like I'm having a lot of memories right now.
Isn't that so crazy how we connect a scent with specific places we've been or people that we were with, you know, or like you can attach a scent to identifying moments of your life.
Yes, like specific. Like I can pinpoint certain smells with certain times. Like how insane is that?
So I think that we should make a list of scents that we identify with moments memories of our life or like relationships or whatever, and see if people can guess who we're identifying with that.
Okay. I can do that.
I feel like people are going to guess mine right away.
I need to know. I know you have Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. I know that's one of your scents.
Honey, so when I got one of my first jobs, we always went to Florida over the summer, and I would get like a little summer job. And I was working at the ice cream place, but I really wanted to work at like the little makeup store. And it was like a tiny little like makeup hut. And I wanted to work there so bad. And I would try like all the makeups and like all the stuff. And Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue had come out, and I was saving up for me to be able to get it. And I got a discount and everything. And I have been wearing that perfume ever since then. And I probably was in like 9th grade.
That's so funny.
I've been wearing it that long.
It doesn't smell the same on everyone. Like people's pheromones are different. And you always smell good to me, but it does not smell good on me.
It's funny that you say that because one of my girlfriends, her son plays basketball with Jackson, and she always asks me, she's like, what are you wearing? That smells so good. And I'll say it and she'll say, oh, well, I've tried that and it does not smell like that on me. So I don't know if it's, I've heard that it has something to do with like your pH or something.
Oh, all perfumes
your body's
or just
pH?
That one?
No, like your body's pH and how it reacts to certain fragrances.
So I got are you familiar with Sol de Janeiro, like the product, like the Boom Boom cream?
Yep.
So I recently got the perfume that I wanted to order the perfume because I've smelled the body sprays, but they have like an actual fragrance. So I got that. I accidentally ordered 2, so I gave one to Natalie, and she was like, you smell so good, like what is that? And I told her, and she's like, no. She's like, that doesn't smell like that on me. And I'm like, no, try it again. Like, I don't know. But I think you're right. I think it just smells different on like different scents smell different on different people.
Okay. So I have one more thing that I want to ask you. And it's something that I saw on TikTok. Okay. And it was about the TikTok. I don't even have it, but I just saw it on there. And it was about these people who go into their bedroom at night and they never know which side of the bed that they're going to be sleeping on with their significant other.
They're mentally ill and they need to see somebody.
So it made me want to ask you, but then also pose the question to everybody who's listening. Do you find it weird to not have a specific side of the bed? Because I feel like that is just something that you create a habit. And once you start that, then that just becomes your side and that's where you go.
No, I've always, well, in a relationship, I always had a side, but when I'm single or no one's sleeping in my bed, I sleep in the middle. But that is my spot. Like I sleep in the middle of my bed when I'm by myself, and that is my spot when I'm by myself. There's, you know what I mean? But typically I always sleep on the left side of the bed.
On the left side of the bed. Okay, so that's not how I was.
Left, like my left. Like if I'm laying down, the left side, not if you're looking at it, the left side.
Okay, so I was always told growing up that the man sleeps closest to the door.
Okay, so every left side has always been closest to the door. So I guess I'm the man in the relationship.
That's just how I was raised. Like the man sleeps closest to the door. And so that's how Will and I always did. Like no matter what house we were in, whatever, however the bed was positioned, whatever was closest to the door is the side Will slept on, and the furthest away was the side that I slept on. But when we were in the process of going through the divorce, he decided to take up residency on the other side. And then we like reconciled while still going through the process. And he still made me sleep on the side closest to the door. And I don't know if it was like a territorial thing or like what exactly was going on. But I do
so
feel
funny.
like a little odd if I'm sleeping with someone else in the bed and I would be closest to the door. Like that's just like a weird feeling.
That's
So I'm
so
always
weird.
furthest from the door.
Huh. I never really cared, I guess, about that. Like I never thought about that, but I also didn't have like, nobody taught me anything like that. And I also feel like that's like very Southern values. Like that's like very gentleman type of traditional. That's what it sounds like to me. So it doesn't surprise me, but that is something that like, I guess I never really thought about.
Yeah. Well, but you are confirming that like you do have a side of the bed.
Yeah. Either the middle or the left. 100%.
Okay. Yeah. So that is crazy. That's what we're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If someone just walks in their bedroom and the person that they're sleeping with is just like on a different side every night, that just doesn't make sense to me.
No.
That screams chaos and screams like we don't have a plan and no one knows what's going on.
You're flying by the seat of your pants. And like, even I don't do that. You know what I mean? Like I have a side.
I saw this one thing on Instagram. It was just like, you know how they'll have like those quotes and stuff?
Yeah.
And it was about current life focus. And it said, it was talking about like not running from your life, but embracing it. And I feel like I have finally arrived to that point. And I feel like you're kind of there as well. For a long time, I wanted everything to just be like so perfect and just, you know, the more that I could make perfect, the better that my life would go. And like the more fixed it would feel, the more planned it would feel because everything that was happening would just be like executed perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's age or if it's just growth and therapy or if it's just like some hard knocks that have happened that like I'm fully okay with just like embracing where I'm at.
Yeah. No, totally.
It's okay.
I'm on board with that. And I think maybe that's our 30s. Like I've heard that 30s is like you really come into your own, you're okay with things, you care about very different things, or like maybe not care about different things, but certain things are less important and you become comfortable.
Well, and then, you know, also I think watching your journey too, you came from a very different show background than what I did. And so I think that's helped me come vicariously, like through you, come out of my shell a little bit because I have always been so guarded. When you have all these eyes on you and people having all these opinions or think they know something, and then, you know, their opinion is said so many times and then other people start saying it. So then it becomes, or what feels like, you know, the public's opinion of the truth, which is just totally untrue. I have just learned to be okay with where I'm at, but also there's just like certain things that I think that in general, the way your show was filmed, I feel like, yes, is there editing aspects of that? Yes. But you weren't like, you were filming pretty real stuff, like you're co-parenting, like all of those aspects of your life. And as hard as that would be to have to face it head on and to know that people are seeing that and you don't have like a lot of privacy, I feel like when you don't have that, there's also a negative to that as well, because there's been a lot of things that people have just assumed about my life that is just completely untrue. And there are so many aspects of my life that I just have not publicly shared. And I do plan to start sharing those things. And I've talked to my therapist about it because in a sense, I do feel a personal responsibility to share it. At the point that you can personally identify that there are certain things that people don't know, that, if you were sharing that part of your story, that people would learn something from it or gain a better understanding or feel like they're not so alone, then I do feel a personal responsibility to share those things.
Right. No, I think that's fair. I did an interview with Dr. Ish. He's a psychiatrist, and he was saying like, share when you're ready, but also share with people who deserve to hear it. You know what I mean? Who have earned the right to hear kind of what you have to say and what your story is or whatever, it is that you're going through. Don't share it with people who don't earn it. And I think that is like the second part of what you're saying. You know what I mean? Because you're ready to share it. You want to share it and you feel kind of like a responsibility to share it. And so in that way, people earn the right to hear those parts of your story or your life.
How did you get to a point was it because of the way that the show was that you just kind of like leaned into that? Or did you feel pressured into doing that in times that you didn't want to do it?
What do you mean?
Like, did you feel in control of your own story at all times?
No. I never felt in control of my story. And I think that's why I would say in the middle of the whole experience and all the way up until the end, I didn't feel control of my story. And I also felt like I had so much experience about how it could be perceived. So it was a mix of not having control, how it would be perceived, and then, as you know, just fitting it into such a very short timeline to make it make sense cuts a lot of corners. So it was like, I'm being defensive. I'm not wanting to share certain aspects. And then on top of it, it has to make sense the way that it's edited. And so it was just a lot. And so for me at some points, and even now, sometimes I feel like this is the narrative that was given. So I might as well fit the mold. I might as well.
Like you have to lean into that narrative. And I think that you just get to a point at the age that we are now, and maybe through healing that we are now, that you don't have to fit into a mold that you didn't create.
Right.
That's not my responsibility to fit into something that was created for me. So I am excited to take on that journey. And I've been writing down so many things of just aspects of my life that people don't know. And I want to share those, but I want to make sure when I'm sharing those that I don't want to come across one-sided by anything, because there's always two sides to everything. And I just want to be authentic when sharing it.
Right. I agree. I definitely agree with you. Ooh, HelloFresh. I love an easy meal, an easy recipe, but absolutely delicious. And I love when my kids eat what I make. So the key to that is HelloFresh, and it's delivered directly to your door. You don't have to get extra ingredients. They have even meals that you can do in like 30 minutes, and they have 40 weekly recipes. So I know when I pick one, it's going to be something that we all love in our house so that nobody's hungry.
And it's a way to eat well and also save money. You're able to cut back on expensive takeout and delivery and start just cooking and chefing it up in your kitchen with HelloFresh. If you want to be like me, you should definitely get HelloFresh. They have fit and wholesome to veggie, family friendly. You're always going to find something even the pickiest eaters will enjoy. And when I tell you Jackson is super picky, he is, and he loves the meals that I select from HelloFresh. tonight I'm doing this pork bowl with rice and zucchini, and it looks so good. I wish you guys could see the little thing. Sometimes I feel like mine won't turn out looking like it, and then it turns out perfect. So I've really impressed myself.
I love it. I love it so much. So you highly, highly, highly recommend it. Take all of the convenience you can get, especially if you just have a busy and hectic schedule. And to do this, you guys can head to hellofresh.com/convo65 and use code convo65 for 65% off plus free shipping. Again, that's hellofresh.com/convo65 and use code convo65 for 65% off plus free shipping. All right, I need to tell you something that really, really irks my soul. Rushing to a doctor appointment to sit there and really get kind of like shuffled in the mix, kind of like lost in the sauce, right? I want to go to a doctor and I want to be the center of attention so that they are able to truly tell me what is wrong with me, tell me what's going on, how to fix it to get to the root of the problem. And I cannot stand when a doctor seems like they have better places to be. Like, this is your job, bro. So instead of doing that, I started using ZocDoc. I actually used it over the weekend because I was like, I'm still feel like I'm a little bit sick. I'm congested. I don't have strep anymore. I don't have COVID. So I really need to know like what's going on, right? So ZocDoc is the only free app that lets you find and book doctors who are patient reviewed, which is really nice. And they can tell you whether they take your insurance. So whenever you need them, they're available and they can treat every condition under the sun.
I also agree with you. I can't stand to feel like I'm just like lost in the sauce. And I want a doctor who's going to focus on me and who's going to listen to me and also prioritize my care. And so absolutely love that ZocDoc has doctors that can do this. If you guys have never used ZocDoc, you are missing out. You can go to ZocDoc.com/convos and download the ZocDoc app for free, and then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/convos, ZocDoc.com/convos.
Are you ready for listener topics?
Totally. But I also want to just say that I want everyone to watch this with me so that I'm not watching it by myself. Have you watched Not So Pretty on Netflix?
No. What's it about?
So I'm going to start watching it this weekend and I will report back whatever I find out.
Okay.
And I think that you probably started growing interest around the same time that I did about consuming like cleaner alternatives when purchasing products and just more so being mindful about it. And so this show or documentary, whatever, is the first ever comprehensive, large scale investigative expose of cosmetics, beauty, and personal care industry, which I thought was so interesting because we talk about so many things that we like and that we use and whatever. And so someone had told me, they were like, you totally need to watch this. And it's basically just like talking about the hidden hazards of cosmetics and how to find budget-friendly alternatives for daily products and also safer versions of products.
I started following all kinds of accounts on TikTok and Instagram for cleaner. And it's not just cosmetics, it's like food too. But a lot of them are like, okay, they push the agenda for sunscreen so bad, but the sunscreens that people are using they're protecting from UV rays, but they're causing cancer. So it's like, what is the lesser of the two evils? Letting my skin burn and sizzle in the sun, or putting products on my skin that are literally causing cancer and like have like, what is it called? Benzymes or something. Benzene. Thank you. Benzene. I said it wrong. I don't want to get caught up like indicted. Benzene. And so I followed, I think it's called Just Ingredients on Instagram is one of them. And I know like I changed my toothpaste. I use Modere toothpaste, Modere laundry detergent that has no dyes, and things like that. I also, Skylar Beauty is another, is a perfume that I wear. I still love my regular perfumes, but I do have clean beauty perfumes as well. I started shopping at Aldi. I started shopping at, I didn't start shopping at Trader Joe's. I want to. Aldi, is it?
Look at Kail's face.
What is it?
Aldi. It's Aldi.
Aldi, what the fuck ever. I started shopping at
Indicted,
Aldi.
Aldi.
Right. You know those shirts that are like Chloe and Kim and Kylie and Courtney? Mine's going to be like Indicted and Aldi and Benzyme. And it's going to be like all my mispronounced words. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about, though.
Stop trying to act like you don't know what we're talking about. That's
Right,
just like
like-
offensive. But you have to watch this because I feel like I'm just so into like educational stuff right now and educating myself and documentaries and like all the things. So I'm going to need you to also watch this. I'll take notes in case you don't. But supposedly there's like someone told me about this and then she told me that she started using this app and I'll have to figure out like what the name of the app is so that I can share it. But she was saying that basically a lot of these like organic said products are actually worse than other products that are like not organic. So she had compared like one macaroni and cheese, not going to say the brand, to another brand of macaroni and cheese. One was supposedly like a way cleaner version and then the other was not. And when she scanned it on the app, it told her like how bad it was for you.
The good alternative was just as bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like kind of like this sunscreen thing. And it's just, it's so sad and so crazy because, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but Gatorade is like literally banned in other countries.
What?
Yeah, Gatorade. You can't buy Gatorade in every country.
Our beloved Gatorade?
Yeah, because it's so bad for you.
I just don't
like
tell me
poison.
that right at this moment because I just consumed a lot of it for my stomach bug. So don't be talking to me about that. But if you guys have not watched Not So Pretty on Netflix, I'm going to be talking about it next week because I'm going to be watching it this weekend.
Definitely.
Listener topics. Let's go.
Okay. Listener topics. Curious to know what others have done with their children while laboring / giving birth to their siblings. We live in Colorado. Both of our families live in Jersey. We really don't have anyone in terms of support. My mom is very willing to hop on a plane ASAP, but that doesn't guarantee she can be here on time. Our hospital does not allow any visitors under 13. So it seems like I'm going to give birth to our second alone so my husband can look after our son until they fly in. I just don't know what to do. I'm thrown around, maybe trying to interview babysitters in the next coming weeks, but that's all I've thought about to do to help. Any suggestions or what you would do in the situation? Also, I'm 30 weeks. My baby is currently breached and I had a C-section with my first. I really think just doing a scheduled C-section would be easiest just because it has a higher probability of me being able to plan someone flying out here. But at my appointment today, my doctor made it seem like if I do a second C-section, I should tie my tubes, or if there is a possibility of wanting to have a third, we should try for a VBAC. My husband and I didn't like hearing the tubes tying. We never fully ruled out a third, but don't really have plans for a third right now either. I guess I didn't really think of all the logistics, and now that I'm in my third trimester, it's stressing me out to just have all this up in the air.
Wow.
There's
a lot going on there.
There is. And I have met people who, and I've been friends with people who they've never even considered the idea of finding a good babysitter. And so I've heard of people bringing their kids to give birth. I have a friend, she's got 4 kids, and her man, they've been together since high school. She said she brought all of her kids with her for each child's birth. And I think it was her that said that he missed one of the children's birth because he was watching the other kids. That's really difficult. And for me, like, I don't know everybody's finances, right? Like, I don't know that situation. However, even when I was on welfare, I had like a friend that would be willing to watch my kids just like if I had to get called into work, which had happened, medical things like that. And so it really, really hurts me when I see that people don't have that support system. But also, you know, one of my girlfriends had called me crying a couple years ago and she was like, I'm overwhelmed. And she had the funds to find somebody. She had the financial ability and flexibility to find somebody. And it was almost like she didn't want to be solution oriented. And so at that time, I was just like, I can't offer you any other advice other than literally care.com, because that's what I told her to do.
I can tell you that I think it's when you get into your third trimester, because I remember this like so vividly whenever I was pregnant, that you get into that mode where you feel like you have to fix everything like right at that moment, you know? And so like you start stressing out, and I couldn't imagine, because I don't have a second. So I can't imagine what it would be like to like have one and then be pregnant with another and be trying to come up with solutions. Like that would be very difficult. In a perfect world for me, if I was having a second child, I got to have that experience with Jackson uninterrupted. And I feel like I would want that with a second child, with my partner, whomever it may be, and the baby, without another child being there, but might not be realistic for some people. To me, with the C-section, that is a whole nother situation, because if she's going to have to be in an operating room, like a kid's not going to be able to go in there. So then what do you do?
Actually, so my kids were born at different hospitals. The only ones that were born at the same one was Lincoln and Lux, and then obviously I had Creed at home. There's like a big hospital around here. I didn't give birth to Lincoln or Lux there, but the one that's like up north, that one has like a little childcare center. Yeah.
Oh, that's super nice to be able, for emergency situations or whatever. Mm-hmm. Also, just wanted to say that my doctor's office, if you have a C-section the first time, they do not, like, they always schedule C-section the second time, because I was told that if I carry Jackson full term, that I would have never been able to birth him vaginally. And so I was going to be scheduled for a C-section, but then I ended up having him so much earlier, so I didn't have to do that. But had I had a C-section and then had another baby, they would have automatically scheduled a C-section, no VBAC. And I wonder if that's common with doctors' offices, or if it's just certain doctors' offices or whatever. But that also would stress me out. I feel like you should be able to have a choice.
Huh. I think some people have when I gave birth to Creed at home, I remember the midwife saying like she wasn't affiliated with any hospitals, but she was saying how like a lot of clients would come to her because their doctor or their hospital they would not let them have a VBAC. So she would fully support women in having VBACs. And she'd been delivering babies for over 20 years. So it's, I would have trusted her as well.
Yeah, my doctor's office does not perform VBAC. So if you've had a C-section, if you're staying at that doctor's office, your next baby is C-section. Also, just wanted to say too, I would be so devastated if my spouse or significant other could not be there for my birth. That is, and I know that it happens all the time. You've got military women, that are out here having babies without their partners, or, people end up on business trips and you have, and that just happens that way. But if my partner was at home and was having to take care of my other kid and couldn't experience that moment with me, which should be such like a precious moment, I would be devastated.
Coffee Combos podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Let's face it, sometimes multitasking can be overwhelming. Like when your favorite podcast is playing and the person next to you is talking and your car fan is blasting, all while you're trying to find the perfect parking spot. But then again, sometimes multitasking is easy, like quoting with Progressive Insurance. They do the hard work of comparing rates so you can find a great rate that works for you, even if it's not with them. Give their nifty comparison tool a try, and you might just find that getting the rate and coverage you deserve is easy.
All you need to do is visit Progressive's website to get a quote with all the coverages you want, like comprehensive and collision coverage or personal injury protection. And then you'll see Progressive's direct rate, and their tool will provide options from other companies all lined up and ready to compare. So it's simple to choose the rate and coverages you like. Press play on comparing auto rates. Quote at progressive.com to join the over 29 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
All right, let's talk about phone games, because I do phone games a lot whenever I'm in like waiting rooms, school pickup lines, just anytime when I'm just like have downtime and I can't like work or read, I'll play a game, like I love when there's a good graphic. I love when there's like scandalous secrets that I can uncover in these games. So for the perfectly cozy game, you can get Love and Pies by Trail Mix. It's free. It's a casual merge 2 game where you build your own cafe, combine ingredients, uncover a story of drama and romance, which sounds like my life, but in game form.
So I'm always looking for something to pass the time while I'm sitting in carpool. So this seems absolutely amazing for me. So I will also start this today as well. So thank you for that. You guys and myself, we're going to play as Amelia as you take over the old family cafe and restore it to its former glory. Meet a diverse cast of characters as you uncover a family story full of secrets and laughs. You can decorate your cafe and the surrounding area with beautifully designed items. And something that is really great is they aim to create safe, empowering spaces for players of all ages. With each beautiful game they create, they're fostering a culture of trust, respect, and creativity. For a tasty mix of love and drama, download Love and Pies for free today. That's Love and Pies, free to download at the App Store or Google Play. Okay, next person from the Facebook group says, why do I feel like a bad mom at times? Well, sister, I have to tell you, because you a mom. I know at the back of my head, I'm doing a great job. I guess maybe I feel like I could do better. I don't know. Ma'am, you are a mom. I talked about this the other day with one of my girlfriends that you can feel like such a just like literal turd on a stick.
No,
sometimes,
not a turd on a stick. Ew.
You can just feel like a turd on a stick some days. And you're just like, why do I feel just like I'm not doing enough? But like you definitely are doing enough. It's just self-doubt. Like,
yeah.
You are entitled to have a bad day, even as a mom. And like, that is totally okay.
No, I relate to this because I know I'm a good mom overall, but there are definitely places I fall short. There are definitely places I could improve, and that's okay. As long as you know that and you're aware of it, and then you try to make efforts to do better, that is okay. We're all fucking human. And also sometimes momming is just fucking hard. And like,
have you ever just like gotten onto your kids so bad and you're just like telling them about themselves and stuff, and then you go to bed and then you just start crying?
Yes.
And you're like,
yes, I have done that so many times, especially because I rock Creed to sleep every night still. I don't know why I'm still congested because I'm not even sick, but he's about to transition to a big boy bed, but I still rock him before I put him in the crib. And mainly with him, there are so many times where we're just having our moments and I'm rocking him and I'm just bawling because I'm like, I need to do better. I can do better. I want to do better. Or maybe I had an attitude with them today or whatever the case may be. And I've just cried, I'm sorry. I'm crying. I don't know. I've had those moments.
I've had to learn through therapy that being a mom, you're still human. Mm-hmm. And so you don't have, like, we do have superpowers probably, but like, that doesn't mean that you can't mess up. And I think that a lot of people, and I was one of those people, that you get so down on yourself for feeling like you fall short, but you have to give yourself grace. You have to be able to pick up, move on to the next day. I actually had this conversation with my sister not too long ago as she started her journey with taking over my siblings and their care. And I told her, I said, you're going to have hard days and it's going to be hard because that's what being a parent is. Whether you're a mom, whether you're a dad, it's not easy. It's not gravy. Like, that's just the way that the cookie crumbles, but you cry it out, you pick up, you move on, and tomorrow's a new day. And kids are forgiving. They're resilient. And they probably don't even care that they got blessed out because they got slime all over the fucking couch. Like, they probably don't even care about it. You care about it. They don't.
I think, too, like, we are more aware and we're willing to apologize to our kids for where we feel guilt or where we feel bad or where we fucked up. And at least I didn't experience that growing up. I don't feel like I ever got an apology for anything ever. And so hopefully, you know, if we do feel like we can do better, we do feel like we didn't have a great day to our kids, you know, they are already resilient and understanding, I feel like. But on top of it, if we acknowledge it and apologize and talk to them about it, they also see us as human and not just their parent.
Absolutely. Love that. Okay.
Isaac just texted me and said, Mom, I don't want to be here. I said, why? He goes, math and social studies. I said, oh. I was like,
You're
I
like,
thought
why
this
is
was
your phone? You're like, why is your phone out?
literally get off your phone. And that's what Kristen just texted me right now. But I'm like, my kid's texting me, ma'am.
Okay. The last one from the Facebook group before we do foul play says, where is the best place to travel within the States in June for a 3 to 4 day trip? For Canadians who aren't used to the heat, have been to LA and Seattle before, but that is it. Thank you in advance.
Chicago.
I feel like you have to go to places that have low humidity.
I would say Wyoming, Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
We're saying all these places that we've never been.
Jackson Hole, Wyoming, or Chicago. I have been to Chicago. Chicago is cool. You go see like the little bean thing.
I would recommend somewhere in the state of California because I feel like they've got great weather, but the humidity is low.
But I think they already been to California.
Yeah, but they said LA. So there's other places that they can go. Like
San Diego,
they can go,
San Francisco.
Yeah. San Francisco would be a great place to go. I love San Francisco. I'll try to find some places and maybe put together a little list. And I'll write that down right now actually to do that.
Okay.
Hope that we were helpful, but probably not. Okay.
Jackson Hole might not be super hot.
Okay, well, I'm ready to be foul.
You ready to I hate you so much. I'm ready to be foul. Okay, here we go. Foul play. Okay. Hey, Kail and Lindsie. This story is extra foul, so no judgments. It was also from when I was in my revenge era as a 22-year-old. I'm 27 now, but I will always laugh at how bad karma got me. Same. So much same. I was coming off a breakup with my boyfriend, and we will call him Jake at the time. After the dust settled in the breakup, I had somehow got back in communication with an ex from college who moved to Texas. We will call him Chris. No, we won't call him Chris. I'm just kidding. I thought Chris was the one who got away at the time. My birthday was coming up, and Chris wanted to get me a ticket to come spend my birthday weekend with him in Texas. Even though Jake and I were still seeing each other regularly and hooking up like the toxic and bitter bitch I was at the time, I packed my bags to go see if the chemistry was still there between Chris and I. I'm such a believer in instant karma because hours before my flight, I was at work and got my period. Whatever though, no worries, right? So I'm in Texas with Chris. The hospitality group I worked for at the time had clubs in Texas too. So naturally we went to those and got absolutely belligerent off champagne. I'm blacked out at this point and don't even remember hooking up with Chris. Not a single recollection. But I woke up naked, so I'm assuming we did. It's the morning after now and I'm packing up to go home. I don't feel a tampon string, which honestly was expected as we seemingly hooked up, right? So I put the tampon in and head to the airport. I fly home feeling fine, hungover, but fine. I land in Chicago to a fucking polar vortex. We're talking negative 40-degree weather and my car is buried in snow. So I add a stop to my Uber to take me to Jake's apartment, which was close by because I was just not dealing with that shit. Same. I also would do the same. He's happy to see me because he had no clue who I was actually in Texas with. We put on a movie and start to get cozy. Me still being the bitter ex I was at the time, I decided it wasn't enough to hook up with my ex in Texas. I had to hook up with Jake too to make it all come full circle and really be the bigger asshole. As we're getting cozy, that's when I start to feel absolutely awful. I get dizzy, hot to the touch, and seeing black spots everywhere. I was convinced I was going to pass out at any second because I was feeling sicker by the minute. I knew something was very wrong and started panicking, telling Jake we had to go to the emergency room in this literal frozen tundra Chicago was at the time. He agrees, and something told me to get up and change my tampon since we'd be stuck in the emergency room for a while. I go to change out my tampon, and I feel it rub against something inside me that feel like it shouldn't be there. At this point, I couldn't even stand up, so I called Jake in, and he asked if there was something up there. The visual is me laying on the bathroom floor and Jake shining his flashlight up my kitty, to which his response is, I think it's a tampon all the way up there. Kitties, I was so drunk when Chris and I hooked up that I didn't take my tampon out. Apparently neither did he. And it literally pushed it so far up my kitty, I thought there was nothing there the morning after. Jake ran to the kitchen.
She has toxic shock syndrome.
Yes,
literally.
That's exactly what it is. Jake ran to the kitchen, grabbed a disposable pair of gloves, and reached up there and pulled it out. When I tell you it was so foul smelling, it literally smelled like rotten garbage that was left out in the heat to marinate. And it was black, not dark, dark, dark red, but black. Almost immediately after this tampon was out of me, I started to feel better. I was starting to experience symptoms of toxic shock syndrome, I'm sure. Needless to say, I didn't ever speak to Chris again, and I got my shit together with Jake because anyone who does that has to really love you. Let me be an example as to why you should never go out of your way to be a grimy bitch to someone, because karma will get you, and it will get you fast. Jake is now my fiance, and we have 2 kids together. I will literally take this to the grave with me, but I had to tell the kitty gang. Absolutely adore you all, and thanks for being traumatized with me after hearing the story. I told my story. The same thing happened to me. Like, I fully understand. I wasn't being a grimy bitch, but like also I have been in my life, so like I fully understand this.
Okay, there's a couple things that I need to dissect from this. Do we feel like if you are broken up from an ex, but you're still seeing them, hooking up with them regularly, that you owe them an explanation as to what you're doing when you're not doing them?
No, absolutely not.
See, I do. I feel like if you have been in a relationship with someone and you are kind of like, I don't know really where this is going or what's going on, but we aren't officially together. We're not officially not together because we're hooking up. We're seeing each other regularly, you know, doing relationship stuff, just like not with a relationship status. I feel like if you are having sex with someone that you have been in a relationship with, that you do owe them to some degree answers as to what you're doing when you're not with them.
If you're still hooking up with them, yes. Because people's health is at risk. And for that reason, I feel like you owe that to them. But if you're not hooking up with them anymore, you absolutely do not owe them.
Yeah, I think if you're not hooking up with them and you're just in communication, I think no harm, no foul. Mm-hmm. You're not engaging with that person sexually. They're not engaging with you. So that's a whole different story. But when you are, I do think that you know, it's like common decency. Like, I wouldn't want it done to me, so I'm not going to do it to someone else. Also, I will tell you, I learned about toxic shock syndrome from my 5th grade teacher and have been traumatized by toxic shock syndrome ever since. And she told us about how long you should be leaving tampons in and how long is like too long.
How long is too long?
I think it's like 4 hours or something. But I don't know. Like, I don't know that I've ever left a tampon in that long. I don't think. Like, more than 4 hours, I don't think, even when I'm sleeping. But I think I'm still so traumatized from that conversation that I have been so afraid of toxic shock syndrome since 5th grade. I didn't even have a period in 5th grade. So let's also preface that. But I've been scared of it since then.
Yeah.
I'm just not leaving a tampon in that long. And also, she had sex with 2 people with that same tampon in.
Oh.
Did the cum go on the tampon?
He might have wore a
from
rubber.
Both people. Or yeah, they could have worn a rubber. But that's just, I'm not judging. I'm not being Judge Judy, but like, I'm just saying that you guys should be aware of toxic shock syndrome. It's a scary thing. I've been traumatized since 5th grade. Just like, do your research on it. Don't be forgetting tampons up there. Like, find your string. I have heard of people before in the summertime, like cutting their strings to their tampon to wear bathing suits and forgetting that it's in there.
Ew.
Yeah. Yeah. And I need to know, do you ever cut your tampon strings or you just tuck it in your butthole?
What?
If you've got your period and you're like on a tropical.
Lindsie, I cannot believe that just came out of your fucking mouth. I have never in my 30 years have I ever heard of someone tucking their string into their butthole.
They do. They do.
No, they don't.
I am officially telling you that they do. So
nobody does that.
You have had your period. You are wearing a bathing suit out and you just let that string just like hang around.
No.
Because I don't know a bathing suit that I have that you wouldn't see that string.
Why not just tuck the string into your vagina?
No, I'm not tucking it that way. I'm tucking it that way.
So you tuck the string into your butthole?
Oh, yeah, absolutely do. Absolutely do.
I'm fucking dead. No, you
Yeah. Yes, I do. When you're
Yes,
putting
I
it in,
do.
you're like this. Okay, you're like this. Hold on. It's like, okay, like up, and then you're like, and then you just like go on about your day.
No, Lindsay.
No one ever sees it.
No, that is the best and worst thing I've ever heard in a long time.
Wait, Kristen also just texted me and
No, she
said,
didn't. No, she didn't.
I tuck it to my butt.
To her
So like
butt.
more people do this. So you're telling me you wad up that string and tuck it in your coochie?
No, I just put it in the bathing suit bottom. Like, I don't do anything with it. I do nothing with it.
I don't have a bathing suit bottom that is big enough where you would not see the string. And like the thoughts, oh my God, it is literally makes me so scared. Are you the type of person that like you've ever had your period and you are like laying out like on a lounge chair and you like look in your crotch and you're like, oh, is there a string? Like I need to make sure like it's not down there.
Yeah, and then I'll just like tuck it. I also do that to see if I'm
mine's never
bleeding.
hanging out. Mine's never hanging out because it's in my butthole. And I know more people are going to write in and say that that is a normal thing. And you wadding it up and like literally putting it between your coochie lips is like a weirdo thing. Like that's just not happening.
Believe. But you said it with so much confidence. Like, do you cut the string or do you just tuck it in your butthole? And it's like, I've never done either. I've never cut the string and I've never tucked it in my butthole. So the fact that you said it with so much conviction, I'm posting this immediately.
Yes, ma'am. Also, I just need to know if I've never been in a situation where I have broken up with someone, okay, yes, I have. I've been in a situation where I've broken up with someone, continued to see them, continued to hook up with them, but never would I be in a situation where I did that and they weren't wondering where the frick I was for like a whole weekend where I'm just like off like gallivanting around Texas. Like
gallivanting around.
Is that a thing? They would be asking me like, what are you doing? Like, where are you?
Where are you? Well, where were you?
I wasn't. I was being honest. Abe, she wasn't. This girl wasn't. She was hanging out, hooking up, going to Texas, getting tampon stuck, going back, screwing Jake, and then going to the hospital. And then not only did she screw someone else, Jake then had to fish the tampon out.
Oh, so if he didn't wear a rubber, he probably...
He's a G, for sure. Huh. Wow, I really like Jake, honestly. I'm glad he forgave her.
He's a real one. Real one.
He honestly is a real one. Wait, I also need to ask you, when did you find out about toxic shock syndrome and are you scared of it?
I found out about toxic shock syndrome in high school, I think. And I am afraid of it because I had a similar story where I left it in. Only the difference is that I don't know how long mine had been in. And I started to, hers, I feel like was onset quickly. Mine was not like my symptoms, if there was any, was not as quick as that was. So it is terrifying because I feel like you just don't know. It could happen in 24 hours or it could happen in a week. Like you really don't know. But now I'm like, well, I bleed so heavy at this point that I have to change my tampons like literally every 30 minutes to every hour. So it wouldn't happen again. So I'm not scared of it, if that makes sense.
Ma'am, I'm scared that you have to change your tampon that many times. Like that is nothing. Like you can't even leave home. Like you might as well just horrible. Like stay posted up.
I really don't like going anywhere when I have my period. I've been bleeding on and off all month, like all of January, like have random days where I'll just start bleeding. And even this month, I mean, it's only the 8th and I've already bled for just 2 days out of this month. And so I don't like to go anywhere when I have my period because I just never know if I'm going to bleed through my shit.
Honey, your PCOS is traumatizing you.
Well, I have.
And at this point, it's traumatized me.
I'm going to see a doctor from UPenn on March 29th.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
You'll have to give us updates on that.
Yes, I will. I definitely will.
Also, before we go, I just wanted to read you guys this list of top 10 mental well-being tips. And you can let me know how many you do or how many that you need to work on. 7 to 8 hours of sleep, hydration, connection, breath work and meditation, nourishing foods, movement, journaling, sunlight, finding joy, and repeating, boundaries with self and others.
I love that list. I love that you're a list maker taker.
Also, just want to say I learned about breath work through Pilates and didn't realize like how important it is to actually do that. And it does make you feel so much better. So maybe you and I can start working on breathing exercises together. And then once we get like our breath work down, we can start teaching other people how to do it.
Oh, I love breath work. That's something I've been working on that for a long time. So I'm down.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we're signing up to do this and we're going to teach people like how to do it. You're probably a better teacher than me.
It sounds so cliche. Like it's one of those things that people like really don't listen to. But when you do it in like everyday situations that are not stressful, it really fucking helps when times are rough and you need to ground yourself or bring yourself back, like center yourself.
Yep.
But like my therapist was teaching me to do these breathing exercises, you know, in the car when you're just driving or you're just sitting on your phone scrolling, like you practice the breathing so it becomes second nature when you have very stressful or high conflict situations.
Chris, listen, that is literally everything that I've been learning in Pilates. And why didn't you teach me this before I started Pilates? Because now I feel offended that like you didn't care about me.
No, it's not that. I mean, it's good that you learned it on your own because you probably wouldn't have listened to me if I tried to teach it to you.
I honestly thought it was a joke when I started doing it.
I told you.
I'll be honest. I thought it was a joke. And then I was like, you know what? No, this is actually really important. Mm-hmm. It's really helpful. Mm-hmm. And in fact, what we're going to do is we're going to like work on it together a couple of times. And then our next live chat that we do on Telegram,
we're going to start with
we will demonstrate and show people how to do breath work or how we do it. That's going to be on February the 20th at 8 Eastern Standard Time. We'll make sure we post the link for you guys to be able to go in and subscribe to the Telegram. And I'm excited for it. If you guys have not subscribed to our show, you can do that by searching any podcast app and just subscribe to us always first on Podcast One, and make sure you follow us on Instagram at Coffee Convos Podcast. Hope you kitties all have a great week and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
All month long on Pluto TV, stream the biggest Tyler Perry movies free. Watch your favorites like Medea's Witness Protection and Medea's Big Happy Family. Join Tyler Perry as he goes on a couples retreat with Sharon Leal in Why Did I Get Married? Or Idris Elba and Gabrielle Union in the Tyler Perry directed film Daddy's Little Girls. Plus, Pluto TV has hundreds of channels with thousands more movies and TV shows. Available on live and on demand. Download the free Pluto TV app on all your favorite devices and start streaming now. Pluto TV. Drop in, watch free.